are. I'm here today with the one of the devs from the new Avillum game. It's an online card game. You should see him up in the corner there. Let me make sure you guys can see him real good, and we will make this screen a little bit bigger, so make sure we can see it. Actually, it is pretty good on the screen when we pull up the actual game. So yeah, we'll just be doing some of the gameplay from the game, ask them a couple questions. If you guys are in channel, we'll see your chat, and you can go ahead and ask him questions as well. And he is also in the chat, in the Twitch chat. So I guess we can go right to a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, if you see me in the chat, I'm PTRCKLF, and I'll be reading if anyone has questions and stuff. So you wanna hit play now?
Yeah, I hit play now. Am I playing? No, I'm playing That's My Hat. I need to... Oh, gosh.
Hit the game. I'll refund you the power level.
Oh, it doesn't matter to me that much right now. So what do I do to quit?
Oh, right. To quit, just go back to avillum.com.
Oh, I see.
We had an interface bug that took away the quit button, so that's should be fixed in the week.
Alright, so I'm back. Alright, so if I want to do a play now, is there a way to pick people out, or...?
Not yet. It's coming, but...
Okay.
Damn it. I got someone else. But you know what? If you want, you can just go for a game, and I'll just give me the link and I'll spectate your game.
Okay.
That should work too.
So one of the interesting things that he mentioned to me before the cast is that if you want to spectate people's games, all you need to do is do the Avillum and then the actual number for the game. So
actually, once your game starts, you can just take the actual game's URL and paste it in the Twitch chat, and anyone can just go right on the page and watch your game live.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
It's searching for opponents, so. So I guess while I'm waiting for an opponent here, we can just start asking some questions. So I guess I'll just start at the top of my list. Make sure I don't ask any silly questions. So some of the development challenges that you've seen for this type of game?
Our biggest challenge, it wasn't really related to the type of game. It's mostly because we're a really small team, and we're having it's a really ambitious project. We didn't think it would be that complicated, but we're only 2 people on the regular development team. It's Alex and me. Alex does all the development work. He does the programming, he does the website, he's hosting stuff, and I do the game design. I make the cards, I make the rules, and yeah.
So you guys have physical cards then that you play like to prototype it, or?
No, we did for the first few sets of cards. I actually sit in my kitchen and I cut out some cardboards, wrote the card stats on them, tried them out to see if it works. But we actually have our own standalone, kind of like a test realm.
Looks like I'm getting beat by Alex right now. You can see his picture right there. Alex is going to take me down to Chinatown, that's for sure.
He's in the chat, so if you want to just copy and paste your URL in the Twitch
Oh yeah,
chat,
we should do that. Control C.
And I'll be able to go look at your game.
This game is too popular.
It's like we actually have a lot of people in the game lobby right now.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, Aaron's Choir against Alex. So Alex is the other developer beside me.
Right. Okay, so I want to put some sort of a shield on my guy.
Yes. While you play, I can explain the game real fast to the viewers. So Avillum is a trading card game. It's based on heroes. So you see right now in the game, Aaron's Choir is using Lionel. He's a knight kind of hero. He focuses on equipping powerful cards to become really strong by himself. Against Anna Claire, the little girl on the other side, she's kind of more a summoner kind of spellcaster. She brings skeletons and elementals on the field, and she gets stronger for each ally she has with her. She fights. So, what makes the game really unique is those heroes. They have special abilities. They can cast spells. They have like Anna Claire, for example. For each ally she has in place, she recovers more mana that lets her cast more spells and stuff like that. Choosing your hero is really important. And aside from that, it's all about equipping more cards, summoning more allies and casting more spells.
I gotta take this. Yeah, there we go. And I got disarming bash. I'm gonna try to bash Anna Claire. Maybe.
You're doing good.
I feel like I'm doing good. Better than our battle earlier.
Yeah, you might beat him.
I don't know. My staff. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so the staff is pretty powerful. So I dumped his plus 80 attack power staff.
Mm.
I can't do that. You shouldn't have programmed it in the game, Alex.
Alex has access to the game console, and he's not about cheating. Yeah, so the staff that they're talking about, Lionel, has an ability called Disarming Bash that lets you disable the opponent's equipped weapon.
We're actually getting some really good draws on this game here. Got this Regalia.
That's what I was talking to you about, like equipping a card each turn makes you so strong. Making sure you get all those different ones out. So you're losing in health, but you're actually getting a lot stronger than him.
Right.
He can't keep allies out. So you have field control right now.
Right, yeah, I have board control, yeah.
Mm.
Yep. Alright, so you guys are obviously some indie developers. You're both in Canada right now. That's probably because that's where you live, I'm guessing. But as indie developers, I mean, what's that like for you guys?
Being in Canada?
Or just being indie?
Being indie, it's actually great. It's a lot of fun being in control of everything we're doing. It's kind of the main reason why we wanted to make a video game. We wanted to be able to be in control of our project from A to Z, instead of, for example, trying to get hired in an already big company,
right?
Something like that. And I know the indie game is still growing. It's huge. It's a great time to be an indie developer. There's a lot of tools coming out for everyone. There's a lot of there's free game engines coming out. There's so many projects. So there's easy ways to get visibility nowadays and to get money for indie devs. So we thought let's give it a shot. You got the banner.
I did get the banner.
So yeah, it's a challenge for sure, because we have no money, we have a tiny team, and since we're small, we're not popular. We can't say there's no one that's gonna pre-order our game, and like GTA 5 that got all its money back just from pre-orders before the game was even released.
Right.
We're definitely not there, but we make do with our means, and we're having a lot of fun creating this.
Right. So I guess that'll segue us into your Kickstarter right now. You guys have, 16 days left in Kickstarter?
Yeah,
like
Kickstarter. We still have over 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
Our goal is $10,000. Let me go get the link, and I can share this in the Twitch chat. Am I allowed to do this? Shameless plug?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's what you're here for. I'm here to promote you guys.
Bam, Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And maybe you can add this in the YouTube description.
I can do that for you.
You're the best. But yeah, our Kickstarter, we're almost at 1,500 right now, so we're still a little while away from our goal. But our players have been really supportive. Of course, our family gave some money too, but they're not the only ones. So it's good to see that there's actually some people willing to give us money for a game. And even outside of the Kickstarter, we have a lot of people coming to us, and they're like, "When can we start buying stuff for our game?" You know?
Right. Which you can do right now, pretty much.
Yeah, right now we have you can pre-order booster packs for when the deck builder comes out, which should be soon. I'm not gonna say when because I'll regret that, but it should be soon.
As you shouldn't.
We're working hard.
Even the game that I'm mostly interested in has been pushed back from the 29th of this month to the 8th. That would be Hex: The Shards of Fate. Everybody's. You have your we're gonna shoot for this date, but you just can't always tell what the future is gonna hold. That's how it is.
Our last major update to the game, I know, like a month ago, Alex was all, "Yeah, it's gonna be ready this weekend," and turns out we just released it this week.
Right.
It did suck, Alex. You're not winning so much anymore. What happened there?
I don't know. I'm drawing. The same thing happened. So, like we were talking before the interview, one of the big things I noticed about the game was that the um, the equipment for equipment characters like this, like once I have all my equipment things filled, like I guess I could put this piece on, but once I have like the best piece in slot, like I basically it becomes a dead card in my hand. So going back to some of my what do you call that experience with the Star Wars game, you had like lightsabers, for instance, for all of your dudes, and you'd only have like one or two of them in your deck because you had to put them on a specific person. Like you had like Vader's lightsaber and stuff like that. So it'd be nice to vary things up or to have some sort of equipment, something else I could do with the equipment, so it's not dead cards in the hand.
Yeah, that was actually a design decision for the base decks. We wanted them to be kind of weaker, on the weaker side, because we don't want you to start off with the best cards right away, and with the best design decks either. Because once you start getting more cards, we want people to start playing around, to start improving the decks. Uh, see, it feels kind of like a problem right now because the deck builder isn't out.
Right.
But as we release the cards and you can make changes to the decks, we wanted it to have obvious downfalls that you can easily fix with adding more cards.
Right. Right.
So since right now in the game you can only equip one new card per turn, summon one new ally, or learn one new spell. So instead of having like a whole bunch of all of these cards in your hand at once, we want people to rather try to go fetch that card they need every turn. You might have like 3 powerful weapons in your deck, and then 5 or 6 cards that let you draw it faster, so you can equip it right away and get an early advantage.
So, okay, so I'm noticing the art style of the game I really like the art style of the game. We talked about this. I really feel like going back to like the old 16-bit and even the 32-bit days before we went on to all this 3D stuff. We really lost a lot with like pixel art, or I mean the artwork you guys did is pretty fantastic. This is you guys. You guys have a couple, 3 artists on board is what I saw. I guess you could just go ahead and talk to that.
We have a 4th artist now, actually. We're working with a new concept artist for the next coming heroes. But yeah, when we started the game, actually, we were going for how most online TCGs go right now. So you have a regular playing field that kind of emulates what you would do with physical cards. So you place down your cards on the field, and they target other things, and it's one against the other. And then it was Alex's idea actually to go all out. Like, we're not a physical trading card game, so why don't we take advantage of this? Take advantage of being online,
digital card space.
Go all out.
Right.
So we came up with this kind of dual space with a visual field, an arena with animated heroes and allies, and our artists have been great. Paul is the one doing the sprites right now, and he's doing a great job animating this and making it all come to life. And our card artists are amazing. Carlos has been with us since the start, and Frederick has just come in, and he does some great stuff too.
Right.
We're having a lot of fun with them.
So, are you looking for more artists, or are you pretty much good right now with the artists you have? For all the artists out there that might be looking for a job.
Yeah, we're always looking for more artists. I mean, having variety is great, and as long as we can afford to pay them, like, it lets us ship cards out faster,
right?
And lets us have more variety in our illustrations too. So if you're an artist and you're interested in working for Avillum, you can send us a portfolio, either to Alex or me.
Death blow! It's coming to me.
Actually, the easiest way would be to send a link to us on our Facebook page, in a message. That would work great.
All right.
Unless Alex has a different way. Actually, on the YouTube video, I'll give you my email, and you can put it in the link for artists if you want. I'm basically writing your YouTube description for you. I'm hogging all the space. I'm sorry.
So let's see, what else have we got here? So you told me we didn't want to go too much into the future sets or mechanics. I'm looking at the background and I'm seeing, would there be a possible way that you might start here and then have a card that might change the battleground and then change some of the effects that's going on, to change the backdrop, or is that a
we have
possibility?
We're looking at a lot of possibilities,
Mm-hmm.
actually. Field cards, basically what they would be, are
Right.
actually the original rules. We took them out for now, but we're not ruling them out entirely.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things we can do. We purposefully made the game very simple to start with, because we're new developers. We don't have that much experience, so we're trying to be conservative and get a really strong base set of rules. Huh?
He says good. Yeah, he says, sorry man, you're going down. Good game. I say good game. Yeah.
Yeah, so we want to have like a strong set of core rules to
Right.
work with. And after that, there's nothing stopping us from building up on that.
Right.
And that's a fun thing we can do with heroes, for example. The kind of abilities we can give them is pretty crazy. And um, yeah, so field cards, new ways of summoning allies, new abilities we can give them. Since we're starting so low, we can only go up from here, and we're going to. We have a lot of ideas. Like in the next card set, one of the big things coming up is legendary cards,
Mm.
which you can only have one in your deck at a time for now. Rules
Right.
might change, but they have either very powerful or very game-changing abilities.
Right.
Um, like I'm gonna spoil it. Alex might yell at me for it, but a legendary weapon coming out it's a legendary bow that
Whoa.
deals damage to the enemy hero, and also picks out 2 other random targets and deals extra damage to them too.
Wow.
So it's very strong, but at the same time, the random thing can also target your own allies. So you
Okay.
have to be careful in how you play it. You have to like think your deck around this card if
You
you
gotta
pull
build
it in.
around it. Yeah, for sure.
hmm So this is what we want to do with our legendary cards, kind of give them some gameplay mechanics that don't make them the strongest cards in the game, but also make them give you interesting options. And this is our game is heavily inspired by action RPGs.
Mm.
This is the kind of feel we wanted to do. We wanted, with really strong heroes, with equipping cards, with casting spells. We wanted a card game that felt like an action RPG.
Right.
And this is the sort of ways we're going for it, like legendary, unique weapons, strong allies, heroes, things like that.
Right. Yeah. It definitely is one of those card games, or the sprites I'm seeing on the field easily could be used in some sort of like final fight, or some of the knights. What was it? The old King Arthur Knights of the Realm
hmm
game. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting to see what
I'm
you guys are
excited.
doing here.
It's very exciting for us too. We're loving it, and I mean, of course we're loving it, or else we wouldn't be making it. But
Right.
we can't wait to get all the plans we have out to you guys and like make the game even better.
Right. So the basic deck design is how's that go?
What do you mean by basic?
Like what kind of things can I put in my deck? How does the
Right,
deck
yeah.
construction work?
Well, for now, like I said, most rules are still up in the air. They might
Mm-hmm.
change a lot as we go through alpha and beta. Um, you can have 4 of the same named card in your deck,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of standard, 40 card per deck
Mm-hmm.
with 1 hero. So how it works is you can build multiple decks, maybe have 3 different saved decks, and once you start a game, you choose a hero, and then you choose a deck. So in these decks, you've seen there's no resource card in Avillum,
Right.
so most of your deck is going to be built around those spells, allies, and equipment cards you want your hero to have. That's how you build your strategy around.
Right.
I want to wear this equipment, I want to cast the spells, and I want these allies out. After you pick these, sorry about the dog.
No, that's fine.
After you pick these, you'll want the rest of your deck to be instant cards that lets you pull out these cards faster. And that's basically the main strategy. The card advantage isn't going to be for having like as many cards as you can in your hand, so you can summon 3-4 ally per turn in case one goes down.
Right.
That's how you overwhelm your opponent. It's going to be a little more strategic about pulling out the right card out of your deck.
Right. Yeah, that seems all well and good. Yeah, it would be like some more like cantrips or something to kind of like burn through your deck or maybe something that's more you're going to be able to look at cards and reorganize them or do some searching or things like that.
Right now, they're called event cards in Avillum. There's some already in the game, like the Ghoulish Goulash that lets you draw 2 cards, keep one and discard the other.
Right.
These are the kind of cards that let you pull out what you need. Or there's spells that let you do that, like Spirit of Curiosity that lets you rearrange the top 3 cards from your deck, so you can plan ahead your next few turns.
Right. Actually, there's no real reason to even use that. I'm just going to end my turn. I wonder if I get my mana back. I guess not, because I didn't target anything with my Disarming Bash, but that's fine.
You want to share the link to your new game?
Oh yeah, I should do that. So, chat. There it goes. So the cost of playing, like, if someone were to start playing, it's free to play, so they get a deck to start out with, right? They're going to get the Anaclair deck, right?
Yes. So we want to go free to play, and we really want to stay away from a pay to win kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
So as you start, you have you're against Mew. Good luck. He's really strong. So as you start, you get access to the Anaclair deck, and each time you play a game, you earn some gold. So if you win, you get more gold. If you lose, you get a little gold. And it's with this gold that you can either pay with real money to get a new booster pack,
Mm-hmm.
or you can buy new packs with that gold you earn from playing the game. So if you're ready to pay money to support us, instead of giving you like really strong gameplay advantages, we want you to be able to have faster access to new content.
Right.
So you can instantly buy your booster packs and buy new heroes, which is a lot faster than playing games to earn the goals. Or we want to give some sort of cosmetic things, like alternate sprites for your heroes.
Yeah, like League of Legends.
Yeah, we really like how League of Legends does its currency stuff, and we're looking at it a lot. And other stuff like how you can save multiple decks. We're looking into maybe get more deck slots if you for a small amount of money or gold, things like that. There's a lot of options we have for microtransactions, and we're still looking at what we can't do.
Right.
We're having a lot of fun with the visual aspects. We started just with sprites, but we're realizing how open our engine lets us be, and how much stuff we can. Like, we're looking at animating card art right now.
Right.
Even in your hand, the little illustration might be animated. Or things like card sleeves, for example, like the border, instead of being a plain black border, you could have like a dragon surrounding your card, stuff like that. And we're looking at ways to have your opponent see those too. Like, because what was the point of having a cool skin for your stuff if you can't show it off, you know?
Right.
So we're exploring.
Let's see. So are there going to be some guilds or anything like that, or how are you guys going to do groups of people that want to like kind of make sure they have like play groups and stuff?
We're gonna start with a friend list for sure, and people on your friend list you can really easily spectate your games as they enter games. You can send them trades and stuff. We're looking into a kind of chat room model more than guilds. That'll be tied a little bit to our trading system. So we want people to be able to make like a little room with 5 or 6 people, either friends or strangers, and in those rooms look at each other's collection and trade cards like this, or just chat around and maybe send jewels to each other while in the same room.
Right.
We're kind of reminiscent of if you play physical card games. You know, when you go to an organized event and you have all these people. They bring their deck, they bring their binders and their collection. And before the tournament starts, you'll go through to each other, you'll make some trades, you'll play some fun games. We want to bring back that sort of feeling, like because trading card games right now they're really good card games, but they kind of take out the trading. It's our catchphrase. It's on our Kickstarter.
I did see that.
Yeah, bring the trading back in TCG.
Right.
And so we want to push the social aspect a little more. We don't want to have like a marketplace where you can search for a card and buy it right away.
Right, like the Diablo marketplace.
Which is shutting down because
right.
it just doesn't work. So we want people to talk to each other and make friends and trade with each other out of Avillum.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How much of a competitive? Do you see this as more of a competitive game or more of a less, hardcore game going forward, or how do you see the competitiveness of this game?
The way we're thinking about it right now is that we're not focusing on the competitive aspect. We're just focusing on making a good game.
Right.
And if the game is really good, really solid, really strong, it'll become competitive on its own. What we want to do though is maybe house some sort of like weekly opt-in tournaments where players can earn prizes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really easy to just sign up for a turn. Path of Exile does something kind of like this, an action RPG again, where you can sign up for a temporary league, and depending on how good you do in it, you earn some little prizes. We're looking at something like that. And
yeah, I noticed you guys already have ELO implemented.
Yeah, the power level it's an ELO system.
Right.
And we're looking at eventually we might be giving out prizes depending on how high you can get your ELO in
right.
season, something like that. So yeah, competitive, we're not worried about it yet, but we think the players are going to be the ones making it happen and asking for it if the game is good enough to be competitive.
Right.
We're not forcing it on them.
Right. Yeah, it's just not going to be your main focus when it first starts, but as long as there's people want it to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Hey, Master Fett. That's one of my viewers. Awesome.
Great. Hi.
Okay, so we talked about that. Do you guys plan on having any type of draft mode? I know that's a big popular thing that people like to see online. They like to have that draft mode.
Mm-hmm. Draft modes are we're surprised at how popular they are in online games. We actually, I personally didn't expect that, and we weren't thinking about it when we made Avillum. We were all about the deck building, but it's something that's worth considering, and it might be something we could add. For example, the weekly tournament I'm talking about, making them drafted.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's not gonna be for the near future, but we'll be looking at it for sure, and we'll see how we can implement it in Avillum.
Would you guys consider having like some sort of a subscription option where people would be able to do like a certain amount of tournaments every month? If they, like $10 or $15 every month?
Not really. We don't want any sort of premium service. We want basically the real money players and the gold players to be on even ground. So subscriptions aren't something we're favoring. But who knows? I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but
right.
It's
it's
not something we like.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I definitely get this. It's my favorite. Valiant Strike. There you go. It's like Immortal Strike.
Yeah. It's a little weird because these kind of subscription things, myself as a gamer, I don't really like them, but sometimes it's the sort of thing that a player base ends up asking for.
Right. Well, because, for me as a player, it's nice to have, whereas I can budget it every month, and I could say, you know what, this much money goes into playing this game, and that's the game I'm going to play right now. Oh, wow, that guy takes lots of damage. So,
yeah,
Patrick sounds really low. I can't turn him up anymore. Are the game sounds too loud?
I have it turned off myself, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Anyone in the chat?
I wonder.
Is my sound really loud?
It shouldn't be. I can try to turn you up in Skype, but
I can talk louder.
yeah, I could turn up my. Yeah, there we go. I turned up my main speakers, but
Ah, how is it now, Master Fat? Can you hear me?
all right. Well,
We'll figure it out.
I have to discard 2 cards. I drew too many cards. Those 2 cards.
It looks like you're as good as me as this game.
Yeah, I'm about to lose to
Mumu
Mumu.
Mumu is one of our top players. He's been with us since our very early beginning. He's the player with the most games played right now.
Right.
Over 400.
Wow.
He's probably getting close to 500 by now.
Yeah, well, you can just right to the face here, pretty much. I'm done.
Yeah, Mumu has 445 games played. Thanks, Mumu. Great sporter. You're the best. Game over.
Yay. Okay. So we talked about that. Are there going to be like archetypes, like the classic? Typically, when we play a lot of card games, we'll see like aggro, control, combo type decks. Can you talk to that?
Probably. Those are probably going to be based on your hero actually, and this goes back to how we want heroes to be really unique. There's a lot of card games right now that are hero focused. Uh, I think Hex has heroes.
Right.
World of Warcraft trading card game has heroes, and Hearthstone too, which is based on that. But they don't really take advantage of them. What your hero can do is in those games is usually the equivalent of like a low resource card. Well, in Avillum, we want your hero to be strong, to be very game changing.
Right.
And for example, right now we have 2 very very different heroes. Like we have Lionel, that's a very personal strength kind of heroes. He gets stronger with each turn, and he does some really high single target damage to take out like strong allies or to really chunk down your opponent. While Anna Claire wants to summon as many allies as she can, and maybe there'll be cards that lets her summon more than 1 per turn, for example. And that's how she gets tanky, and that's how she kind of overwhelms the other. And we'll have some other strategies that become more viable as we release more cards.
Right.
So yeah, there'll definitely be some more aggressive cards, some more maybe I'm losing my words here. Attrition decks that
Right. Something more like a warlock-ish type of thing,
yeah,
like a WoW warlock.
Or like one of my favorite kind of decks that I played when I played Yu-Gi-Oh! For a little bit was forcing your opponent to discard a lot. For example, so just playing the cards, playing your opponent's deck, playing your deck, playing around reviving allies from your discard pile instead of summoning them from your hands might become a viable strategy too.
Like, yeah,
So,
graveyard recursion. Yeah.
Mumu, if you want to ask a question for the Q&A, get in the Twitch chat. Come on, support Jordan Squire. Give him some views.
Yay, views. So obviously, yeah, we talked a little bit about doing things on your opponent's turn, and that's really not what this game's going to do right now, but there's a possibility for that in the future.
Well, not right now, because there's some very significant rule changes that I don't want to talk in details about that are coming. That will really change how a turn flows. But the main thing that really made us shy away from acting during the opponent's turn is game pacing. We wanted the game to be fast, to be quick, to be able to be played only in a few minutes. And what happens when you can't react to every card your opponent plays, is, especially in an online card where you can't just say, hey, wait, and interrupt your opponent. There has to be an interface and an input between each cards.
Right.
That really slows down the game often. So
it can.
Until we find a solution for that, we're probably not going to add it to the game.
Sure. Yeah, I know playing Magic the Gathering Online, you can set stops on your opponent's turn, and then you have to cede actions to them at every turn. And so, yeah, that is something that can really slow down a game for sure. Playing the Hex game, Hex the Shards of Fate, they actually have a thing where, like, if you have an action you can do, it will ask you if you want to go ahead and do that action. But if you don't, it's programmed in such a way where it won't allow you. It'll just go right through, which kind of is counterproductive in a game where it is that you need to sometimes bluff what like you could have something to do. So, I mean, there are both sides, two schools of thought there. But by not having that, that's one less thing to worry about when you're designing the game for sure.
Yeah. One thing that's really easy to implement that we'll probably see in the future is kind of trap cards that you play and that activate themselves automatically on your opponent's turn when they take an action. That's something that's possible, that's fast-paced, and that's simple to add. I have a card one of the cards I'm designing in the future, not in the next set, but after that is that kind of stuff. So we'll see. We're in a really early alpha phase right now, not even in beta, even if we're public.
Right.
But that means there's a lot of stuff that can happen. There's a lot of new stuff we can add, so we'll see what happens.
Right. Oh, I'm taking so much damage. Maybe I should just start attacking the champion every time I play this guy and not just ignore all his allies.
It depends. It depends who you're playing against too. Like right now, Lionel's probably weaker than Anna Claire.
Right.
Mostly because he doesn't have enough allies, and we're probably going to be changing a few things in the future after we're done focusing really hard on getting the deck builder out.
Right.
So yeah.
Just go ahead and end my turn. I don't think I have anything else to do. I have to discard cards.
Don't worry too much about your power level dipping. Once mine gets down to 900, I'm just going to reset the ladder, because that's terrible. I'm kidding.
Okay, we talked about that. Yeah, so I guess this is kind of the somewhat difficult question. Right now we're seeing a landscape where it is that digital TCGs are picking up a lot. You guys are kind of entering into that realm. It's pretty much open. How do you feel like you guys stack up against some of these other TCGs? Where are you guys going to and include things that you guys think that you bring to the table other people don't? Obviously this interface is pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah, this is when we started working on Avillum. Things like Hearthstone hadn't even been announced yet.
Right.
And now we're here 3 years later, and everything is so different and very scary. Let's be honest. But we think our game is unique enough and different enough, and brings a lot of advantages that other games don't have. We're going to work a lot on being browser-based. That's a huge advantage for us. That you can play Avillum on literally anything. You can play it on a tablet, on a laptop, on a PC.
If you're brave enough, I could play it on my phone.
It's not optimized, but you can.
Yeah, I probably could do it.
Yeah, I've played it on my iPod. It actually is really gorgeous and a lot of fun to play on an iPad or any Windows tablet. And that aside, we're gonna play on heroes a lot to make the game really unique and stand out. So it's true there's a lot of really high-profile stuff happening that have a lot more budget and a lot more talent than our little indie project. But over time, we think we can catch up to them and give something really solid.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, the artwork is one of the best parts of the game right now, for sure. And the ease of play. I didn't even read the rules. You guys have the rules on your site, and all I did was I was like, all right, I was just got my account and signed in, and I was like, okay, I wonder how I attack this guy. Oh, I just click on this guy and then click on that guy, and he attacks him. All right. Well, that makes it pretty easy.
And the game is. I'm surprised at how easy the game is to pick up, because when I look at our current interface and everything, I feel like it's not intuitive enough yet, and yet new players are just coming in, they play their first game, and they get the hang of it. I'm like, well, geez, our game is great.
I might actually be the first person below 900. I don't think I've won a game of this yet. All right, here we go. I'm using Anna Claire here. All right, let's see here. So what we
if you're lucky enough to play a game against me, you might just win.
I know. Sell yourself short, but
hi Mumu. Like I said, we'll do the AMA after Aaron is done with his questions.
I'm pretty much done with my questions. If anyone wants
Really?
to ask any, yeah, it's pretty much we've been through all of them. Yeah,
Awesome.
see, it was so painless. You were so worried. He really
This is our
was.
first interview, and I wasn't that worried. I'm
You were a
just
little bit worried.
mostly excited. Like, we're really excited about everything we're doing, and this is so much fun, especially when we see our players are so supportive and they like the game. And this is crazy that there's people like Mumu who would play 440 games of Avillum. We're like, how, is our game that fun? Why would you do this to yourself?
With the one
But
deck.
yeah, no, but that's why we're so excited to get things out to you guys. Like, we want to everything that all the support we get, we really want to give back on that, and like show people that we want to give them the best game we can make. So yeah, if people have questions in the Twitch chat, I'm up for answering.
Yeah. I think Mumu. Actually, let me go ahead and link our game. I'm playing against Mumu again.
Actually, let him win, Wumu.
Nah, it's fine.
Um, actually, there's one thing that comes up a lot on our Kickstarter. People are asking, why should I give money to an indie developer's first game ever? And um, that's kind of a worry to a lot of people who want to back us, but they're not sure if we're gonna get anywhere out of this.
Right.
And that's why we made the game. First, that's why the game is free to play, because any money you give us is entirely voluntary. And also, that's why the game is already playable. Yeah, go ahead and ask your question, Moon. I'll answer it when I get to it. And so yeah, the game is already playable even so early in development because we want to get feedback from people. We want people to try it out, tell us if it's good, if it's fun, if it's worth it. And as people give us their feedback, we change the game, we make it better. And then once the game is up to your standards, you're free to give us all the money you want. We accept check, credit, and no. But yeah, if people are worried, just give the game a try. You'll know yourself if it's good enough. And we know that it's still very early. There's still a lot of work to be done, but eventually we'll get there.
Right, yeah. Anything on Kickstarter is one of those things where you could obviously get burned. I don't see these guys putting this much work into something and then just dropping it. I mean, the game is available to play, which is what I mean. I just saw another Kickstarter that they got 6 times what these guys got for their first game. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't see that being really an issue. I mean, they're not really asking for that much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and the overhead costs of running this stuff, you've got server costs, and then obviously you got to eat and pay your people. But beyond that, you don't have to pay for card stock. You don't have to pay for a lot of different things. So
Mm-hmm.
it really is like an indie developer's world to really just kind of push things forward. But obviously sometimes things happen and people get burned, and so whenever
Yeah.
you give money out, I mean, you're giving money because you want something to happen, not because you're expecting something in return on
Mm-hmm.
Kickstarter.
Um, Mimu is asking, is Avalon going to be available for the Atri? I actually don't know what that is, so I couldn't answer you. Um, maybe. Uh, I'll run a Google search and I'll answer you on that later. But basically, Avalon is going to be available for anything that can run a web browser and that has a decent enough resolution for it. No, like there's no, it's not a Flash game. It's not on Unity. You really don't need any sort of plugins. You just need a browser, somewhat recent browser. I don't
1980s
know.
console.
I'm not sure how compatible we are with Netscape. Um, if your 1980s console can run Internet Explorer or Chrome or Firefox, it can run Avillum.
Right. So what they suggested I run it in was the Google Chrome, so that's why I put it in. And you guys just added it to the Google Chrome store, correct?
Yeah, we're on the Google Chrome store, um, so you can download a quick shortcut to Avillum to have right on your page whenever you start it up. I use it. It's great. I just click Avillum and get online whenever I want.
It's not going to run the Atari, obviously, Alex.
No, Avillum is sadly not compatible with an Atari.
What about an Atari Jaguar?
Maybe. We'll see if we can make it.
Probably not. You'd be lucky to find someone that owns one, except for maybe the angry video game nerd or something.
Actually, Alex is kind of an angry video game nerd, and he's been having fun lately. He built a little console computer that he can hook up to his TV to log in Avillum.
Right.
We might do a little feature on that. It's really cool.
Have you guys thought about the Ouya? I know that's kind of one that's, people are on both sides of the fence on that one.
Yeah, Ouya is it's really interesting, and we'll look into it just like we can look into having a Steam version of Avillum. There's so many things we can do. Like, because the game is so simple and so lightweight, being a browser game, we can basically export it to almost anything. The one thing we probably won't do is making an offline version of Avillum, because we want to have control on
server side,
on card stats and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, you want to make sure that there's no duping going on and stuff like that, and you have to control things from the server side. So he's at 1 hit point. Look at that. I got Moo at 1.
Ooh.
Internet. Look at that, internet. Not that I'm gloating or anything.
Look, Mom, I'm winning.
Yeah. I thought he would have been dead after that last one, but somehow he's at 1 hit point. Maybe he played a spell or something. Like a near-death spell. If you're going to die instead, you go down to 1 hit point.
Actually, a lot of work we'll be doing after releasing the next set of cards and the deck builder is going to be on the interface. So things we want to add is know ahead how much damage you'll do with an attack, instead of having to guess your current damage versus their resistance stats.
Right. That's my first win.
Against Moo. Great job.
Against Moo, I know, right? All right. Do we have some more questions?
Yeah. Anyone else has other questions?
Yeah. Otherwise, I think we're kind of winding this down now, because we played a couple of games.
GG, look at your fans.
I know. Well, yeah, that's MasterFed. Yeah, he's one of my best fans.
You have some just guys rooting for you too, and people just don't like Moo. It seems.
Well, people like to see an underdog team win. Like, what was it? That ice hockey movie where the Americans play against the Russians. It was a Disney movie. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, you're pulling hockey on me.
I know I am.
Appealing to the Canadian.
I am. I am not below appealing to Canadians. Speaking of which, one of my favorite, I guess while we're waiting for more questions, one of my favorite series was the, what was it called? Pure Ownage, which is a Canadian series there. I don't know if they're still making syndicated series or anything, but that was a really good series. I don't know where they were from. I don't think they're from where you're from.
I hadn't heard of it. I'm a terrible Canadian. I don't follow hockey. I don't. Oh gosh, I'm ashamed of myself. I should be more cultural. Like the sport I follow the most is League of Legends.
Right.
So I'm.
Well, I don't know what the Canadian League of Legends team is. I don't even know the name of those guys.
We don't have one.
Oh, you don't
Team
have
Solo Mid has 2 Canadians on them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I know Team Solo Mid, but I figured they were mostly Americans.
But yeah, we're gamers through and through, and kind of nerdy. But that's why we're kind of living the dream here, making a video game, trying to live off it. It's been Alex's dream since he was a little boy.
Oh, for sure.
And my dream too. This is the most motivated I've ever been about maybe making a career out of something. So who knows? We're really hopeful.
All right, well, it doesn't look like we have any more viewers, so real quick, we'll just plug your Kickstarter again. So if they want to do your Kickstarter, what's going to be the web address for that?
Our Kickstarter is, gosh, I don't know if we have a short link. Alex, do you have a short link? It's kickstarter.com.
Yeah, I bet you I can find it.
Yeah, If you just run a search for Avillum, you'll find it.
I
Or
can
else you
find
can go
this.
to our Facebook page, and all of our links are on there. Facebook.com/Avillum. You'll find the Kickstarter. You'll find the game's website. It's all on there.
Yeah, here we go.
And if you have questions or suggestions about the game, you can email me at patrick.lafort.
Right, and then if you want to play it, you can sign up, and yeah, you just go right to it, basically.
patrick.lafort@avillum.com or Alexander at avillum.com. And we answer our emails, we read everything. Would you be able to duel other people? Yes, that's coming. That's coming fairly soon. You'll be able, probably at the same time as a friend list, something like that, you'll be able to send duel requests to individual people instead of always going through the quick match option.
So yeah, there you go. Yeah, support Avillum. It's got some good art out there. Guys are pushing forward. It's going to be a pretty good game moving forward. They just, just got to polish it up a little bit, help them get to their Kickstarter goals. And yeah, this is Aaron Square saying God bless you and your families, and try not to rage out there too much, all right?
Well, thanks for inviting me, and I'm glad you're enjoying the game, and thanks to everyone who was watching. And yeah, try it out. It's a great game. Pretty fun.